Hi, this is Landa E. Welcome to Mental Land Streets. We talk about all things mental health, my mental health, geared towards helping you or someone else with yours. And let's get this started. Now, I'm going to talk about the worst day, one of the worst days of my life. Well, everybody knows how close me and my mother was. I mean, as a matter of fact, my therapist says that how close we were was a little bit unnatural, I guess, because we would call each other like 5, 6 times a day. If I wasn't at her house, she was at my house. I have other family members that were busy, so me and my mom got extra close, not to the point where she didn't love everybody else, but the fact that I was always there, and she was always there. So we spent a lot of time together. And there was this one time when I was depressed. She always knows, she used to call me and say, "Did you take your medicine?" And I'll call her and ask, "Did you take yours?" We was like that. We was just bonded. So there was one time I was having a mental breakdown. I was having problems with my son and his wife at the time, and my own personal, inner demons that I was fighting, and I became very depressed. So I went to a psychiatric ward, and my mother was calling me, and she was like, "I'm gonna be there for you. You always try. I love you so much. We're gonna work it out. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay." And she came to visit me. And she went. She took, her and her boyfriend at the time. They took a ride all the way to see me, which was a distance, but they came to see me, and that was the last time I saw her. Actually, the last time I saw her was in a psychiatric ward. So I spent my time there. I was into what I had going on. I was speaking to my mother almost every day, but it got so crazy there that I didn't even realize that I didn't talk to my mother in like 2 days. And all of a sudden, I started like having a hard time there. They wanted to keep changing my room, and I'm the type of person that if I go somewhere and I'm sleeping in this room, please don't change it. Please don't try to move me to another room and another room and another room. And then I had my problems with that, and the night that I fell asleep, I had a dream that this dark figure was looking in my window, but I wasn't at the hospital. I was like at home, but I was like, it was weird because I was still in hospital, but I was home, and someone was, looking in my window. So the dark figure looked in my window, and they kept staring, like looking at me. And it was like I felt unsafe. My safety net had disappeared. And I had that dream. But mind you, the next day, I was supposed to be discharged from the hospital. And when I was getting ready to leave, I said, "Wow, I have to go food shopping. I haven't been home in all this time, and I need to go food shopping." So I called my sister, and I was like, "Can you take me food shopping? Pick me up and take me food shopping." And she was like, "Okay." So I got ready. I'm sitting at the desk waiting for my discharge papers to go home, and getting a little impatient, feeling a little impatient because it's taking long. And mind you, I'm not realizing that I haven't heard from my mother. So I'm still standing there losing my patience. And then my sister calls me, and I'm like, "Great, she's called me back to tell me what time she's coming." She calls and tells me that Mom is dead. And I'm like, No, she's not. I just spoke to her the other day. She's not dead. And I hung up on her. At this time, at this point, I'm like losing my patience with the people at the desk, because I'm like, here I am being told something that I really don't want to believe. And these people take long for me to leave so I can get to the bottom of it. So I started going off, started like climbing over the desk, practically, basically, and they were like, we got to get her out of here. They didn't even want to keep me any longer. They wanted me to leave. So I got out, and I had some money because I had been in the hospital, right? So I had money. So I ended up calling me a taxi. And it was pretty hefty to get home, the price. When I got home, my son and his wife, his girlfriend at the time, they're standing out and they're staring at me, and I'm like, hi, what's up? Just walked in the house. I went on, for some reason, I picked up my phone and was looking on Facebook, and Facebook knew that something had happened to my mother before I even wanted to believe it. Um, that was the worst day of my life, y'all. For me to be in a hospital and to lose my support system on the way out. Could you imagine? Could you even imagine what that's like? This is the person that used to call me and say, you took your medicine? I said, yeah, Ma. Did you take yours? She said, yeah, I took it. I decided not to take my medicine anymore. I decided that I didn't, once I realized that she was really gone, I didn't want to take my medicine no more. I didn't want to be a part of the mental health or the mental illness thing anymore. And what really hurt me is that, I wanted to see her. I wanted to see her for a last time. I wanted to see her. And we went down to the morgue. They wouldn't even let me see her. So I was like extra depressed and sad, And I just broke down. When I finally realized that it might be true, I was in the middle of a city, and I screamed for the top of my lungs. I screamed so loud. I never felt so low. I never felt so hurt. And now this happened before my mother. I was still depressed before my mother even left. So at this point, I really didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to be here. I did not want to be here. And I remember telling her, like when she was alive, that if anything ever happened to you, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. And here it is. I'm telling her this when she's alive, and she's gone. And I felt like I didn't keep my promise. But I had plenty of dark nights. I had plenty of days where I couldn't even get out to bed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't, even people that wanted to be around me, I probably pushed off in some kind of way, But then I also felt there was no one there for me, dark, the shades closed and dark, laying in the dark, and no one to come in and say, well, girl, come on, get up, girl, open these windows. There's nobody there, nobody. So as time went on, I found the courage to go on. What helped me is because when my mom passed, I didn't want her ashes at first. But once I calmed down a little bit, having her ashes with me every day, it's helpful to me. It helps me, you know. Um, that beautiful smile. She was a beautiful person. Even though we had our problems in life and issues, she was not well. And when she became well, she was one hell of a person. She was sweet. She was, you should call her mayor of her town. That's how sweet she was. And it wasn't until I think COVID came around when I wanted to really like jump out of it, snap out of it. And at that point, I couldn't because everything was closed down. Everything was closed off. So, I wanted to just go out in the world and just, light it on fire. And I really couldn't. So my timing is always off. My timing is always off. And then after, just feeling like I had nobody. I had nobody to talk to, nobody to talk to and discuss how I was feeling. Then I ended up just talking to anybody. And then I would find myself like, so, oh, you said that about me. You're talking about me, because I used to have my mother to talk to. But sometimes I believe that when I watch people who crossed over and they come back and they tell their story, they say, well, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay where I would, I wanted to stay where I was sent after I passed. They want to stay. They don't want to come back. My mother had mental illness. She had asthma. She had bronchitis, emphysema. She was never married, And I felt as though, even though I miss her, even though I want her here, I felt like she's in a better place. I feel as though this world is horrible. This world doesn't deserve her. This world does not deserve her, And I feel as though heaven became enriched when she got there, And that helps me make it through. That helps me, go through another day, I sometimes now it's gotten to a point where I know she's around me and I don't talk about or think about her as much because she's in me. She's within me. So there's no sense of me, yearning her every day because she cannot come back. So as long as I know that she's within me and that her ashes are with me, and I'm able to tell my story and know that no matter what I say negative about my past life, it's the life that I grew with her as I got older, as she got older, that counts. And anything before this relationship that we and the relationship that we nourished together, anything before that, I don't really, I forgive her for. I forgive for the way it was. So I'm glad that you listened. If you can, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you won't miss any of my videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my stories. I know that probably you guys have your own lost and things that you had to overcome that happened to you in your life. If you wanted to, and let us know how how the worst day of your life How did you get through it? How did you work through it? And yeah, thank you. Peace to you.